Hello, how are you? Today I've put together for you 7 dangerous nighttime habits that can affect your health and your quality of life. The last habit can even put your life at risk. You need to watch this video. It's super important and could even save your life. Stay until the end so you don't miss anything. Before we start, I want to ask you if you have any habits that you repeat at night. Do you have any quirks or routines at night? Write it for me down here in the comments. How old are you? Where are you from? Tell me a little more about yourself in the comments. I'd love to know more about you. Like the video because it shows YouTube that you support the channel, that you trust my content. This is really important to me. And if you know someone who would enjoy this content, who would like this information, share this video. Let's do this together, you and me, and grow this chain of good. That's what I want here with the channel. Many things we do repeatedly throughout our lives, during the day and even at night, can have a lot of repercussions on our health. And often we end up doing these things over and over, almost automatically, without realizing they might be affecting our lives. Let's talk about 7 dangerous habits we might be doing that can cause serious problems for us. The first habit that might seem harmless, but for many people causes serious problems, is drinking a lot of water before going to bed. You might think, wow, but why could this be a problem for me? Drinking a lot of water before bed will definitely make you wake up at night to urinate, right? Water is essential, of course, for our lives, but after a certain age, we can no longer hold such a large volume of liquid in the bladder for long during the night. The bladder will hold less liquid, and the kidneys actually filter liquids differently. So, even if you drink just 1 large glass of water before going to bed, you will wake up at least once or twice during the night to pee, to urinate. So there is a certain risk of you tripping at night and falling, right? Sometimes you have more difficulty adjusting your vision at night. Sometimes there's a rug in the way, a small mat in the bathroom. And many people who suffer falls and sustain fractures tend to experience these accidents specifically during the night. There is a statistical issue here that many people who fall and fracture their femur or hip fall during these early morning hours. So it's a very dangerous time for you to be getting out of bed. Avoid drinking liquids before going to bed. It's an extremely dangerous habit to have. The second habit that is also dangerous to have before going to bed is eating dinner very late. This is very bad because your stomach stays too full close to bedtime. Your metabolism keeps working hard at that hour, and you increase the risk of reflux, poor digestion, and your sleep is not restorative. It becomes fragmented, and you can't reach that deeper sleep. And deep sleep, look how interesting, is precisely when the brain clears out toxins, like beta amyloid, which is linked to Alzheimer's. It's important that we reach that stage into deep sleep so the body can repair itself. And when your body is more focused on digesting food than on entering deep sleep, it can even have consequences for your brain. Besides, as I mentioned, you're at greater risk for reflux, heartburn, and burning sensations. So have your dinner earlier, 2 to 3 hours before you actually go to sleep, to reduce these kinds of issues. Another bad habit is sleeping in an improper position. The position we sleep in can affect our breathing, heart, and even our spine. People who sleep on their backs may experience worsening of snoring and sleep apnea, which can reduce oxygenation and increase blood pressure in those who are prone to it. People who sleep on their stomachs can misalign their spine and cause muscle tension, even in the lower back. So the best option is to sleep on your side, right? In the lateral decubitus position, with a pillow between your knees if you can. This helps your spine, keeps the airways open, improves brain drainage, promotes the removal of toxins, which speeds up brain cleansing, and prevents brain aging. By the way, what position do you usually sleep in? Tell me in the comments, I want to know. Another bad habit is not paying attention to the temperature of our bedroom. The body relaxes much more when the room is cool. So, ideally, it should be at an average temperature of around 71 degrees Fahrenheit, 22 degrees Celsius, something like that. So when we have a very, very hot room, we can't enter deep sleep, our sleep becomes very restless, it can increase heart rate, and it can raise blood pressure. In the elderly, it can even increase the risk of dehydration and blood clots. So it's dangerous. Ideally, we should keep the room nice and cool and use bedding. You know, something really refreshing, like cotton and cotton pajamas. Ideally, you should at least use a fan and layer several thin blankets instead of using one very thick comforter if that's the case. So that if the person feels hot during the night, they can remove layers like peeling an onion instead of putting on or taking off a heavy blanket, which either makes you too cold or too hot, you know? So they have the ability to add or remove layers as needed, using lighter bedding to better adjust to a more comfortable temperature for them. Another problematic habit is when someone gets out of bed too quickly. When someone gets up too quickly, it can cause orthostatic hypotension. I even have a video here where I talk more about this, which can lead to dizziness, blurred vision, fainting, and it's one of the most common causes of serious falls at night. That person who is lying down and gets up too fast, their blood pressure drops, and this can once again cause those falls that can be serious. A person can break a femur, hit their head, or end up having to go to the hospital. So be careful. The ideal is for you to sit up first. Wait a little bit, then you get up, right? Put your feet on the floor and check if you are okay. Then stand up. If you have night lights, place them around your bedroom and house, and avoid wearing socks. If you wear socks, put on slippers or at least those non-slip socks. Be careful when walking in the dark at night because that's extremely dangerous. Another habit that many people have which is dangerous is ignoring snoring. A lot of people treat snoring as a joke. Oh, my husband snores, my wife snores. That's funny, but it's dangerous. Snoring is actually a sign that something is preventing air from passing through your airways as it should. And snoring can reduce the oxygen supply to your brain. It could be showing you that you have some looseness in your tissues, that you have an obstruction in your tissues, and it could be indicating that you have sleep apnea. In other words, poor oxygenation of the brain, which is extremely dangerous. So ideally, you should get checked out. If you're someone who snores a lot, look for a sleep clinic, get screened, because it might be necessary for you to use a CPAP, that mask, so you can sleep better, oxygenate your brain better, and even prevent a stroke. And the risk. In fact, the most common habit that poses the greatest risk, even of death for some people, is using certain medications without medical guidance before going to sleep, such as benzodiazepines, clonazepam, diazepam, lorazepam, and some antidepressants without a doctor's supervision. These medications can lower your blood pressure too much during sleep, decrease your respiratory rate, affect your balance, and impair your memory. There are people who can have a stroke during sleep and die in their sleep without anyone knowing. Do not take medication on your own, and do not take medicine you've never used before right before going to bed. It's very important that you always start new medications in the morning, right? You don't know if you might be allergic to that medication or if you'll have some kind of side effect. So any new medication you start taking should be in the morning when you're awake and alert so you can see how your body reacts. Never before going to bed. And never without a doctor's prescription, of course, especially those medications that can actually affect the brain's chemistry. This can be very dangerous for you. Tell me, did you have any of these bad nighttime habits? I'd love to see your comment. I hope not, but if you did, which one? I'd love to see your comment. Remember to like the video, that really helps me out, and share it with anyone you think might enjoy it or who needs this information. Let's work together to spread this positive message. That's what I want to do here with the channel. See you next time. Bye.